What's happening, everybody? This is Don from Maher Media, talking to you guys currently from Anaheim, California, following a 3-1 Flyers victory over the Anaheim Ducks in their first of two meetings with the team. One this year and then one in early 2025 as they come to Philly on January the 11th. This was an interesting contest. Great win for the Flyers to get, looking to bounce back after that last loss that they had before Christmas break. But some things happened, some things different happened. This didn't happen. This was a bit of an interesting game on all fronts for the Flyers. The lower end guys looked phenomenal. Top end guys are kind of quiet. And obviously 𝐊𝐍 got benched, which is definitely something that we are going to talk about. For starters, let's address the elephant in the room. It's the first game playing against Gauthier. How exactly did that look being there? Well, very loud for starters. The Flyers fans travel well. Every time Cutter touched the puck, as you could hear on the broadcast, loud boos. Even when they were showing Cutter in like the promotional commercials in between like whistles when they're cleaning the ice, I mean, even when he was on the screen there, you could hear boos and things like that, which is to be expected. I mean, it was kind of felt good to see, and it's only a fraction what he's going to get when he comes to Philly, but it was still an interesting thing to see. Really cool kind of to see as a fan, kind of getting that perspective from sort of being in enemy territory. In terms of on the ice play, Cutter really wasn't a factor. I mean, those two little penalty sequences with him and 𝐊𝐍 in the first period was all he really did today. He really didn't do anything. Then again, 𝐊𝐍 didn't either, which we're going to talk about. In that first period, like I said, that little penalty sequence happened. That was about it. Second period, though, 𝐊𝐊𝐂𝐊𝐿 continues his scoring streak, ups it to 5 games, got a nice little goal at the top of the goal crease, a nice little feed out from behind the net. 𝐿𝐂𝐿's just waiting there, pounds it home. Really cool to see kind of just what he's been doing. That lower line has looked phenomenal. Torch has been leaning on them a lot, sort of starting them a little bit. I mean, 𝐿𝐂𝐿 is just on fire right now. He's really kind of coming out of nowhere. He's honestly a guy who I thought was going to potentially get scratched early on because he wasn't really doing that much. But I mean, 𝐿𝐿𝐿 has looked absolutely phenomenal. A couple minutes later, it would be Troy Terry who would even it back up for the Anaheim Ducks, getting a very solid shot, getting it past Sam Ersson. Ersson looked phenomenal today. Obviously, he had that one goal go past him. It was a really good shot, really well placed. Didn't really have a ton of help in front of the net. But other than that, he looked fantastic. He bailed the Flyers out a ton. Here in that third start of the game, I thought he deserved it with the amount of how often he was able to come up clutch in this game and just bailing the Flyers out from terrible defensive breakdowns. Going into the third period, it was tied at 1. Morgan Frost would get the next goal, putting the Flyers back out on a 2-1 lead. He got a nice little chip on an off-angle shot over Lukas Daughtzel's shoulder. Daughtzel wasn't fully hugging his post. Frost was able to take advantage of him being out of position and put the Flyers back on top. It was a really solid play. He had a phenomenal game as well. Flyers are up 2-1. Period winds down. About 3 minutes left. Joel Farabee is in the box. Lukas Daughtzel gets pulled, put on the Anaheim bench, and then Flyers have to deal with being down 6-4. But they were able to deal with it quite well. The Ducks didn't really do much when the goalie was pulled and when they were on the power play. And when Joel Farabee's penalty ended, he came out, skated right at Olan Zellweger, who was playing with the puck at the top of the blue line. Farabee pokes it away, skates it down, and a very hard-fought empty net goal is scored, and the Flyers end up taking it 3-1. Some other points in today's game. Power play from the Flyers. They were on the power play a good amount of the time. They did not look good at all. Today was honestly the worst the power play has looked in a long time. It was horrible. They looked lost. It was just bad passing, bad sequence, not a lot of communication. I mean, obviously we know the power play is an issue, but today that should just highlight how bad it was. Obviously Anaheim is a solid defensive team, but I mean, Flyers had zero rhythm, like at all. It was a very just weak sort of performance on the power play for the Flyers. Obviously, 𝐊𝐍 got benched going to that third period. He clocked only 9 minutes and 8 seconds of ice time today. Had 1 shot on net, and on the season, he is currently a -11. His goal-scoring streak drought has continued now to 7 games. It's tough right now. He's 19 years old, going through some growing pains, getting used to playing at NHL competition. I don't really understand why he got benched this game. I mean, maybe the penalty, but Again, it was Nick Sealer's stick that got Cutter. It wasn't really on 𝐊𝐕. Honestly, the few times 𝐊𝐕 had the puck, I thought he didn't look that bad. He made some nice moves. I mean, obviously, it's not what you're expecting from him, but I didn't think he looked horrible. But he's not playing well, and the team wants to win. So he got the bench for the third period, and honestly, I think there's a chance you don't see him tomorrow in LA just towards benching him like that. I mean, Cutter didn't do much either for Anaheim, but 𝐊𝐕 wasn't really much of a saving grace for the Flyers today either. It was those low-end guys, really, like I was talking about. Cates looked phenomenal. Frost looked phenomenal. Farabee with that goal, finally getting himself back out there. He looked phenomenal. TK looked invisible, really not around the puck at all. Coots just was around the puck a little bit, but didn't do that much. And Owen Tippett had a few breaks, a little bit of burst of speed, but got really tied up by the D. Really just trying to skate through a ton of guys, and just not an overall great game from our top line guys today, but a really good game for bottom line guys today. Also, forgot to mention Bobby Brink. He played phenomenal, throwing the body around, really getting in those nitty-gritty areas. Really liked what I saw from that bottom line today. They looked really, really, really good. So the Flyers are back at it again tomorrow against the LA Kings. Should be an interesting one. See how they handle that back-to-back. We'll see Kolosov, and they've got some unfinished business with the Kings. They played them recently, got lost 7-3. Hoping to see a little bit of a different outcome tomorrow. Today was a good game, though. Hoping to build off of it, and we'll see what happens with 𝐊𝐕 Michkov tomorrow as well.